I used to, when I was just starting out, I didn't know about Ames lettering guides, and I would do this thing of like, measuring out every quarter of an inch or something, like eighth of an inch, and I'd measure on this side, and then I'd draw lines across, and then I'd letter, and then it's this really, really complicated process. The Ames lettering guide, which I'm going to show you now, is a really simple way of basically laying out parallel lines at very specific distances from each other that will help your lettering be neat. Now, all of you guys probably grew up reading comics that are digitally lettered. Am I right? Like typeset lettering. Eventually, if you guys become professional cartoonists, or if you're just doing it on your own outside of classes, go crazy. Do whatever you want. Do it digitally. I don't care. But I want you to learn hand lettering, and the reason for it is this. The reason for my preference for hand lettering is this. You guys all have very distinct ways of drawing, right? Even the way you hold the pen is going to be different. The weight with which you press it is going to be different. The amount of ink that you use on your brush is going to be different. Your aesthetic is totally different. And your lettering is part of that aesthetic. Your lettering is what is you don't letter like your handwriting. You don't just kind of like scribble it in. You draw letters for lettering. And that drawing is going to fit with the aesthetic world of your artwork very cleanly and very clearly. And if you just letter a few pages, your lettering will be, it won't be perfect, but it'll be perfectly fine for what you're doing, and it'll get better and better, and it gets easier and easier. Digital lettering, to me, always looks like it comes from a different planet than the art. It doesn't really look like anybody's saying it. There are comics that are lettered with fonts of hand lettering, of the artist's hand lettering, which look okay, they look pretty good. But if it's done with a sort of pro font, it often looks like it's dubbed to me. Like it doesn't sound like the character's voice in my mind's ear. So that's
those old cartoons with the mouth, the human mouth on the.
Have you guys ever seen that? Crash Cargo or
There were a couple.
Clutch Cargo. Clutch Cargo.
They were
I'm gonna
creepy
look up
to
Clutch
me.
Cargo while you guys are working. I'll look up Clutch Cargo, and that'll be my argument for not doing computer lettering. All right, let's look at the Ames guide. Everybody, let's just take it out and look at it. This is a stencil, basically. It looks really complicated and scientific, but all it really is a stencil for drawing lines. And you can draw lines at different sizes using this stencil, okay? So take the disc in it, find where it says metric, and put that at the top, or off to the side the way it is in the picture. Look at the bottom, and you see there's a row of numbers here. Everybody see that? Those numbers correspond to sizes of lettering. So they're going to give you taller or shorter lettering lines, spaces between the lettering lines, okay? I say start with 5. As a sort of medium size. Sometimes you want it bigger, sometimes you want it smaller. I letter upper and lower case, which means 5 is a pretty good size for what I do. If you letter all uppercase, you might want to go to 4. But for the moment, let's do 5, okay? Everybody set your Ames guide to 5. There are three rows of holes, 1, 2, and 3, right? And the middle one is all even, right? The top one says 3/5, and the bottom one says 2/3. What do you think that might mean? That's about 3/5. I'm just guesstimating this, but and if you do this at 2/3, like this, what's the difference? What? 2/3 is bigger. What part's bigger?
The lowercase.
The lowercase. The x height is bigger. Yeah, this is bigger. And what's the result of that in terms of readability? It's easier to read, right? Because when you're doing this, and this is huge, but when you reduce it down really tiny, then you have like this teeny little lowercase letters, really small. So 3/5 is less usable for comics. The Ames guide was originally developed for people like architects to like write, really neatly on their plans before we get computers. So, we just have adapted it for comics. But the one you want to use, generally speaking, is 2/3. And which line is that, the top or the bottom? The bottom. So pay attention to the bottom line. And what do you see on there other than holes? Yeah, little parentheses, line things, right? And what are those things doing? What are they linking?
The top and the bottom of the right.
Yeah, they make sets out of these lettering line guides. It says here's a set of 3, here's a set of 3, here's a set of 3. Oh, there's an extra one. But it's not extra, it's actually really important.